Hi, my name is Marcus Braun and I'm the consultant pastry chef for Barker's. Today we're going to make a chocolate gâteau using the Barker's cherry patisserie filling as an insert inside of the gâteau. For the first stage of the recipe, what we need to do is pipe some of the cherry patisserie filling into the silicone mould that I have here. You can see the end result. Once we've piped it in there and frozen it, becomes nice and easy to handle, and that's for ease of application later on. You can alternatively pipe it directly into the mousse, but using this way we'll get a nice clean finish and a nice amount of the cherry filling all the way through the gâteau. To make the cherry insert, what we need to do is just snip the end of the piping bag and pipe the cherry patisserie filling into our silicone mould. You could just pipe this into a tray lined with Glad wrap or cling film, and then freeze that, and once it's frozen you could cut that into the strips as well. Using the silicone mould just makes it a lot easier to get it nice and uniform in shape, and obviously help with the portion size. So once we've smoothed the surface of the silicone mould with the cherry filling in it, what we need to do is place that into the freezer now. A normal freezer would take around about 3 to 4 hours to set hard, or a blast freezer would take around about 20 to 30 minutes to set firm before we can remove it from our silicone mould. Okay, what I've got here is a terrine mould. This one is a silicone mould, but you could use a metal terrine mould if you wish. First part of the recipe is we're going to pipe the chocolate mousse into the base of the mould. So just piping a quantity into the base and bringing it up the sides of the mould as well. Just with a palette knife, smoothing the mousse up the sides of the terrine mould just to ensure that there's no air pockets on the outside of the mousse, because that's going to be your presentation edge. Now once you've smoothed the mousse, what we need to do is place the frozen cherry patisserie filling insert into the gâteau. So we just lift that up. Because it is frozen, it's easy to place into there, into the center of the gâteau, and then push down quite firmly. And you'll notice that some of the mousse will come up around the sides of the cherry filling. That's good. All right. The next stage we want to do is place a layer of chocolate sponge on top of the cherry filling, and then press that down quite firmly again, making sure that the cherry filling and the sponge are adhering to each other. So what I've got in here is a Kirsch sugar syrup solution. So 1 part Kirsch, 1 part sugar syrup, and we're going to soak the chocolate sponge with that. So essentially what I've got here is I've broken down the traditional flavours of the German Black Forest gâteau. So we've got the chocolate mousse, we've got the sour cherries from the Barker's patisserie cherry filling, we've got the chocolate sponge here, and the Kirsch, which we're soaking that sponge with. The next stage is we need to pipe some more of the chocolate mousse on top of the sponge, and then we'll spread that nice and evenly onto the sponge, and we're going to cap the whole thing off with a baked disc of linzer biscuit. So what I've got here is the baked linzer biscuit, which we're going to use to cap the top of the mousse. So what linzer biscuit is, it's spiced biscuit, it's got roasted hazelnuts through it, and a little bit of orange zest in there as well. And that's going to marry really nicely with the rest of the flavours in the gâteau. So what we do is just place that gently on top of the mousse, and then we press that down so it's sticking. And now that mousse is ready to go into the freezer to set before we can remove it from the mould and glaze that with our chocolate glaze later on. Once we have turned the mousse out of the mould and we have glazed it with the chocolate glaçage, now it's ready for decoration. I've got some simple chocolate decorations here which I'm going to place on the top.